Now that we've finished assembling our drawing, we need to turn it into some drawings. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn the car around and make this our front view. So it is already the front view, so that's fine. If it wasn't, we could right click and set the current view as front and just hit save and save it as the assembly. Then we need to come up here and we're going to open a drawing file. So ANSI millimeter IDW is an Australian standard drawing file, and we need to put an orthographic and an isometric view. So we'll just wait for this to open. It takes a minute or two to open. So the first drawing we're going to place on the page will be isometric, so it's like a pictorial view to give people an idea of what they're going to make. And the drawings after that will be an orthographic view, and that shows the front, top and side view. When we open up a drawing page, it gives us today's date, who's drawing the particular drawing, and the sheet size. And the default sheet size is C. So we just need to change that. So if we right click on sheet and if we go to edit sheet, we're just going to change it to an A4 page, and then that way you can print it out. So to begin with, we need to create a drawing, and we're going to place a base view. So if we just have a look up here and we click on this folder, and we just need to find the location of where we've saved our drawings. So on the toy car folder, and we're going to put in the assembly view to start off with. And it comes in like a front view, and down here we've got scale. So I actually want that to be an isometric view, so I could put it in as an ISO top. So that's fine. And I'm just going to try and center it on the page, and we're going to have a parts list up over here. So if we just place that and right click and done, then we have a picture of our car in an isometric format. So isometric, these lines here recede back at 30 degrees, and all of our vertical lines are at 90 degrees to the title block, so perpendicular. If we come over to annotate here, so that's place view. If we come to annotate, we can actually place a parts list. So we click on that, and we use the browse for file icon here, and we're going to click on the assembly. And all this information here is pretty generic, so we'll just hit OK and OK again. We can place our parts list up on the side and just adjust your column widths to suit. And this is why it's very important to save your drawing part names initially as the correct name. So when I look at this, I've got the body and it's item 1, the quantity is 1. Front and back wheels, we've got 2. Okay, so from that, we've got the parts list. From that, we're going to place some balloons on our project, and balloons will refer to this item number here. So if I click on this wheel here and you see it's highlighted red, and I drag a balloon out, it's number 5, so that's a front wheel, so the number 5 appears there. If I drag one out from the back line, and again I'm just trying to keep it at 90 degrees so it looks neat on the drawing page, right click continue. Part number 4 is the back wheel. If I wanted to bring one out from the body, I might actually, with the body, it might look more appropriate if I drag it out from this point here. Part number 1, and we also need to do both of our, let's do that again. So right click continue, and right click continue, and then just escape to end the command. So that's now our parts list. So we've got all of our parts there. In the description there, if you wanted to, you could right click and you can edit your parts list. And just as an example here with your the dowels, you could actually type in dowel. We could dowel. The body is made from 110 by 42 millimeter pine. I'll change that to 42 by 19. And the back wheels might even just say they're made from pine. Pine. Just going to change that to pine, would make more sense. and hit apply, and then you can see it updates the description straight away. So we need to put a title down here. So if we go to text and we place a title, make your title 5mm in height, so we type in 5, capital letters for your drawings, and we're going to just call it children's toy. We hit OK. We'll also notice too in our title block 1 of 1, so we're going to go back to place view and we're going to put in a new sheet. So this is a new sheet. Now it says 2 of 2. If I want to go back to the first drawing sheet, I right click and activate, and it brings me back to that first sheet. So right click and activate to the second. This is where we're going to create our isometric view of the car. So we're just going to have an overall isometric view. So again, going back to the assembly view, and we're going to place our front view. So we're going to have a front, a top and a side view. We'll just see how we go size wise. So if we go front, top, it's not actually going to fit on the page, it's going to be too big. So we click on that view and delete, and we come back and we place the base view. So assembly, and we're actually going to change the scale, and we're going to make it so it's half size. And this will just help it to fit on the page. So if we go front view and then drag off and project a top view and right click and create, that now gives us the top view, and it's stacked exactly on top of our project. We're going to need to project a side view. So we select where we're projecting from, and again we just drag it out, left click to place, right click to create, and then we have our side view. When you look at it on the drawing page, it's not entirely centered, so just with a left click holding it down, I'm going to drag a box around all my views, and I'm just going to move the views just slightly, just to try and make it as centered on the page as possible. Going to put some annotations on here. So underneath each one of the views we need to title it, and 3mm is fine for this one. With your caps lock on, we're going to put front view, side view, and top view. Title should always go underneath the drawing, and always in capital letters. And just down here, let's call it orthographic view, and that's the type of drawing it is. We're going to make it 5mm for the title, so it stands out on the page. We're going to go through and we're going to actually dimension our drawing. So if we just click on general dimension, and from this point to this point we're going to put an overall dimension, so we can come out a fair way for this one. For the precision, we're just going to make it 0, and that changes the decimal point to no decimal points, which is fine for what we're drafting. And I'm going to dimension the body, and again just get rid of those extra decimal points. So we can also say from this line to this line we want to be a certain measurement, and we can make it in line with the other dimension, just so your drawing looks neat. So just hit escape so nothing's active, and you can actually move that dimension over to the other side so we can see it more clearly. And again, just getting rid of the precision. Now if we wanted to dimension our radiuses here, we could do that for our wheels. You go, okay, and we'll just try and place your dimensions so they're not, you know, in the way too much. The main thing is the drawing. Dimensions are very important, but the main thing is actually the drawing. So just place enough dimensions so somebody could make the product from the drawing. That looks like we might have enough. We might just, on this side here, we might just get a line from the center point for our axles. And this way, if somebody actually wanted to go and make this, they could. So that's that drawing there. That gives us some overall sizes. This here looks a little bit messy, so I might actually just cancel that. We can delete that because it does get a little bit messy, and I think these radiuses here get a little bit messy. So this view here should just be a little bit of an overview of how it's going to look. We can go back to place view, and we can actually place in a new sheet. So 3 of 3, and this is where we could just place the car body, where we could put more definition into it. So the body. And we can project up a top view as well. And you can actually see the hidden detail now of the lines, and we could put more detail on there. So if you were to go through, you need to go through and have a drawing for each. So we're going to have one for the car body, which you can dimension. Then we'll have one for the wheels and one for the axles as well.